Hi there! We're nearing the end of this series and guess what? It's time to party! Yes, it's time to look back at what your students have achieved and celebrate. And that's our key word for the week, celebrate. In order to celebrate our students' successes, we need to examine the progress they've made in their journey towards independence. And actually, it's not us who should be doing this analysis, it's our students. So we need to do some reflection with them. Reflection is an essential element of self-directed learning. In their excellent book, Teaching Children How to Learn, Gail Ellis and Nair Ibrahim suggest providing reflection activities in every lesson, before, during and after learning. This may seem like a lot, but a reflection activity doesn't need to take very long. It might just be a simple question while you're setting up an activity, such as, what can we learn by doing this? Later, following up with, what did you learn afterwards? However, with primary age students, these questions will probably need breaking down into more specific questions. For example, take the presentation that we talked about in the last video. If you haven't seen it, you can watch it here. We can invite students to say what language they think they will practice as they plan and give their presentation. We could give them a list of words, phrases and structures and ask them to tick the ones that they think they will use. Then, after the presentation, they can repeat this activity and compare their two lists. It can help if you get students used to talking about what they're going to learn. Before doing an activity, or maybe at the beginning of the lesson, explain what students are going to do in the lesson and why. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Not so long ago, I used to think that writing the learning objectives on the board was a waste of time, or even worse, that it would spoil the fun. I thought that if I told students what they were going to do in the lesson, then for some reason that would make it less fun. Too predictable, perhaps. I don't know where I got that idea from. In fact, many children will want to know what they'll be doing. It provides a feeling of safety and it lowers the affective filter. It also develops a feeling of shared responsibility. So while you might already write a menu of lesson activities on the board, for example, sing a song, do the activities on page 20, play this game. If, as we do this, we also tell them why we're doing it, i.e. what they will learn, this will help students with the process of learning to learn, and it will increase their metacognitive awareness. So back to our pre-celebration reflection. When you do this is up to you, but it's a good idea to do it regularly, depending on the number of lessons you have a week, because everything needs to be clear in the students' minds. They need to be able to remember what they did. Of course, they can look back through the pages of their course book or look at their notebooks or any other materials that they've used. Invite them to see what they remember, including activities, games and songs and anything else that you've done. But here's a tip. Turn it into a challenge. Give students a series of challenges to do. For example, can you remember the chorus from the song? How many new words do you remember from Unit 5? Talk in groups about your favourite class games and then choose the best one. Then ask students what they learned from each activity. You could have them keep a record somewhere. They could use personal learning journals, or perhaps you could set up a display that you keep adding to throughout the year. And don't forget to add learning skills too. Ask students to compare their feelings about learning with how they felt at the beginning. Go back to some of the activities that we did earlier in this series, especially the ones where students reflect on their level of independence. If students did the activity in video 9, where they explored the balance of teacher-led versus student-led activities, you could have them read their comments from the jar and compare them with now. Do they have more independence now? Are they taking more responsibility for their learning? And how do they feel about it? Hopefully, students will be in a better place than at the beginning of the year, and they'll feel more positive about their English lessons. Whatever the case, you should try to congratulate your students on what they've achieved, even if they are baby steps. One way of celebrating is by having an end-of-year party. In fact, why not try out some of the things that you've learnt during this series by having students investigate the topic, what makes a great party? I have a mini Inspiring Inquiries resource pack that will guide you through the different stages of an inquiry over 3 lessons. It's a mini inquiry. It's the perfect way to spend the last couple of weeks of term, and of course it can end with a class party. What better way to celebrate? If you're signed up to the Learning to Fly email list, you'll get a hefty discount on this mini pack. I'm practically giving it away. Don't forget to come back next week for our final video in this series. Yes, I know, I'm going to be so sad. I'll see you then. Take care.